Hello YouTube. I'm cute and geeky. Subscribe to see what else I'll learn to do.
Hey guys, so lots of fun updates today. But most importantly, I know I have, so I'm assuming that some of you have as well, been waiting to get ROVer's wheels on, tires on, and see him rolling. And I've been waiting on that answer from the folks behind RoboClaw. So I got a response, not the response I really wanted. Basically, they want me to send the boards in. And I have a hard time believing that it's a mechanical, electrical problem, a hardware problem, I mean. It's more than likely a syntax problem, something of my own doing. But basically, because the firmware is 2 years old, back from when I bought them, they don't want to troubleshoot it with me. They just want to make sure that the firmware is current before they even make an attempt at helping. I can appreciate their standpoint, but it's frustrating nonetheless. So I wanted to show you guys kind of a workaround that I think will work. So let me show you that on the screen here. To give you a bit of background, so the issue has been that the 4 motors have not been running at the exact same speed. I actually wasn't sure whether it was the speed or the distance that was a discrepancy between the 4 motors. As of today, I understand that to be the speed. So basically, one or two of the motors, probably 2 of the motors are running a little fast or slow depending on how you look at it. And what I've been going back and forth with the RoboClaw people is basically trying to figure out how I can correct that discrepancy. So that's generally done through some coefficients that are programmed into the RoboClaw. Unfortunately, anyway, it's a long story. If you're interested, hit me up and I'll explain more. But the bottom line is I can't get those coefficients into the RoboClaw boards for a variety of reasons. And they want me to send them in, and I'm reluctant, obviously. So what I've thought of doing is basically adjusting the programming, kind of the commands, to accommodate the fact that 2 of the motors are slow or fast or what have you. So I think this will work, but let me show you what I've done. So if I re-upload this here over, let me just double check that everything's powered on. So if I re-upload this, so what I've got here is there are 2 series of commands. So the first command basically tells the 4 motors to drive a distance of 70,000 ticks at a speed of 5,000. You just heard the click on the relay. You can see here in the serial panel that they're running. So they're running for 70,000 ticks at 5,000 ticks speed. And then the second command is basically a deceleration command. So now if we look over to the serial panel here, I'm going to point out a few things. So for one, the distances covered are very, very close. So I mean, this is within a margin that's acceptable. And the speeds here, so 5,300, about 5,300, about 5,300, you know, give or take. So the speeds is where I've basically adjusted the code. And I've done that using this kind of speed 1, speed 2 here, where I've either added a little bit or taken away a little bit for those 2 motors. So for example, so we can see that everything's matched up pretty well with these values. And I might tweak them a little bit more, but if I send over the same speed to all 4 motors, you'll see what I mean. So you'll hear the click again on the relays in a second. There it is, and the motors will start running. So now if we look back over at the serial panel, here we sent the same speed, same distance command to all 4 of them. The distances still come back pretty good. You can see that they're within a few ticks of each other. So the distance is not the issue. But the speed, however, you can see that this one motor is a little bit faster than the other 4, and this one is a little bit slower than the other 4. So my thinking is that basically I give the commands to run this motor a little bit faster than the others, and this one a little bit slower than the others, and that's how we get to where I am right now. Of course, as always, I'm open to suggestions. So if you guys have better ideas or you have experience with RoboClaw controller boards and you can give me some pointers, I'd love it. But in the meantime, I think that'll work for our purposes, and that'll get ROVer on his tires and rolling in the real world, so that can't possibly make me any happier. And yeah, other than that, I wanted to show you guys some other stuff. So as I've been waiting on the RoboClaw people to get back to me and to figure this stuff out, of course I haven't been slacking, and I've got some really cool updates for ROVer's Android tablet brain that I wanted to show you guys. So come take a look.
Hello YouTube. I'm cute and geeky. Subscribe to see what else I'll learn to do.
Fun, right? So as you can see in the app, we've got actually a little bit more than what you saw in the intro clip. We've got basically ROVer's first attempt at a voice. It's feminine for now. I don't know how I feel about that, but I mean, he's speaking, so yeah, that's awesome. I'm thrilled with that, and it's programmed in as a service. So a couple weeks back, you might have seen the episode where I had implemented an activity for ROVer's speech functionality, where you'd actually type something in and the app would say those words back. So I've now taken it a step further, where it's not just an activity, but it's a service that can be accessed from, for example, the kind of face activity where you see the minion. And what that enables us to do is access that functionality and basically be able to send spoken word commands for ROVer to say while we're doing other things and not typing in words for him to say. So that's one part of it. And of course you saw the other aspect. So you saw the video camera feed next to the minion. And that's taking a step further what we saw in, I think it was yesterday's episode or the day before, where we talked about the camera implementation on the app. So we've now similar to the approach that we did with the speech activity, taking it to a service, we've got the camera functionality within the face activity, so that when ROVer's roaming around, basically, we'll take snapshots, kind of like a time delay or a time series or whatever, time-lapse images that will eventually be saved to the web server and be accessible from the controls panel, kind of the command center, so that when we're sending commands, we can get a visual feedback for what ROVer is seeing, what obstacles are in his way, basically where he's at. You know, coding and everything, it's all fun and it's necessary, but the real fun stuff has always been about seeing ROVer in action. And for that to happen, we need these babies. So as you can see, we've got them all ready to go, and it's just a matter of mounting them up. And yeah, it's not even going to hold right now, but yeah, I can't wait. ROVer's looking ready. The wires look to be in a little bit of a disarray, but they're actually not as bad as they appear. I've got to get a few more of these rubber grommets to protect the wires going into his legs here on both sides there. And other than that, it's really not that big a deal. I don't have this mounted yet. The USB cables obviously are not going to roll with ROVer, so these come out. These battery wires here will actually be mounted to the batteries themselves, and the batteries, which I've got over here, and the batteries will be situated like that on either side. Let me grab the other one, like that. So that will be the first iteration of ROVer's chassis and mechanicals and electronics, etc., etc. But he's looking pretty awesome. And with the rubber on the wheels, he's gonna be a menace. So yeah, if you're as excited as I am to see him go, be sure to stay tuned, give a thumbs up, subscribe. If you have questions, use the comments down below or on ROVer's website, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.